The puzzle genre of video games seems to get a new entry every time you blink. With so many out there, it's hard to create a new game that doesn't seem similar to the others. Even so, the team at Ludo Land has been able to do just that with Four-Sided Fantasy. This minimalistic, charming, and colorful puzzle game will both soothe you and drive you insane all at the same time. Four-Sided Fantasy takes you on the journey of a nameless man and woman who are on a quest to find each other through each of the 4 seasons. The catch is that they always manage to miss each other. Have you ever seen a cartoon where the characters would be in a chase scene and constantly walk through dozens of doors, missing each other by mere seconds? That's essentially how Four-Sided Fantasy plays. You have the ability to warp through the invisible walls that are found on the 4 corners of the screen, which now basically act as doors. This ability is called Screen Wrap, which is a feature that was introduced in classics like Pac-Man and Asteroids. The difference here is that this ability can be toggled at any given time by the player, which is where the puzzle solving comes in. The game features 8 lengthy levels, and in order for you to clear them out, you must use the Screen Wrap ability. Upon activation, the 4 corners of your screen will turn into portals, thus allowing you to pass through them effortlessly as long as nothing is blocking you. As the game progresses, it gradually introduces new mechanics that all revolve around this ability. This leaves you to learn how to make use of the ability in order to progress through each level. Some of the puzzles are pretty easy and can be solved in a matter of seconds. Then there are others which will have you questioning your mental ability, making you think that you're probably not as smart as a 5th grader. That's a show, by the way. I will admit, there were quite a few times where I had to take a look at a walkthrough in order to get past a puzzle. Now, had this game been released in the 90s, I would have been forced to use my brain in order to overcome some of this game's puzzles. Boy, technology sure is a beautiful thing. I'm man enough to admit that I needed help. There is no shame in that. Despite the difficulty of some of the puzzles, the game is pretty well balanced. Each of the levels have a balanced mixture of easy and challenging puzzles, so you never feel that the game is completely out to drive you insane. The only real issue I have with these puzzles actually became evident very late into my playthrough, where one of the levels had a few glitches in it. The Screen Wrap ability was working fine until I got there, and that's when some of the puzzles triggered glitches that caused my character to literally disappear. It's like they were trapped in some eternal void between the corners, lost forever. That's the dramatic way of putting it anyway, but seriously, they were gone. This forced me to go back out to the main menu and start the level all over again. That would be fine if there were checkpoints in this game. If you ever need to restart the level, you're forced to start from the beginning each time. There aren't any checkpoints hidden or marked. The game only saves your progress when you make it to another level. This is an unfortunate flaw since each level is rather long, so having to restart multiple times can easily get annoying. With all that said, this is the only real issue I encountered with this game. Four-Sided Fantasy's puzzles may leave you feeling a bit frustrated sometimes, but its presentation will be sure to keep you sane. For starters, the visuals are absolutely gorgeous. It looks like a storybook in motion. Each environment is bursting with vibrant color and simple yet atmospheric particle effects. There isn't any flaw with the art, it all just looks very beautiful. Combine this with the ambient soundtrack and you have yourself a game that really brings out the fantasy element. It all feels like a wispy dream. With the majority of the most popular games in the industry being hyper-violent, loud, and in your face, it's very refreshing to have a title that you can play wrapped up in a blanket with a hot cup of tea. Difficult puzzles aside, Four-Sided Fantasy is genuinely soothing and relaxing. If you enjoy puzzle games and or platformers, there is a good chance that you're going to find a good amount of enjoyment with this title. Its laid-back gameplay is complemented by its even more laid-back presentation, which really adds to the value of the experience. My only real complaint is that there are a few glitches and that there's a lack of a checkpoint system. Other than that, it's safe to say that this game, while small and simple, is basically flawless. My entire playthrough was only about 4 hours, so I can't help but wish it was a little bit longer. Nevertheless, the developers at Ludo Land should be proud of their work with this game, and I look forward to more titles such as this. At only $10 on Steam, this is a great game to have in your library if you want something that is soothing and relaxing, but also challenging enough to keep you entertained for a while.